All right, there we go. It's our start time. So I am going to get that sweet background music turned off and go ahead and kick off the live. So hello, everyone. I am Sarah Lobkovich. I'm the founder and principal consultant of Red Current Collective and the creator of Evolutionary OKRs, which is the approach to OKRs that we use in our work with troublemaker and change maker clients. Oh, we're lucky Gibson's going to come and join us for this one. So our approach to evolutionary OKRs is focused on helping leaders and teams create useful, impactful, functional OKRs efficiently and easily. I shouldn't say easily. I'll say efficiently and with as much ease as possible. So what I'm going to do today, I made a commitment to my mailing list folks, and I'll try and hide when the dog gets inappropriate behind me. I made a commitment to my mailing list folks that we would share certain kind of core content out of our No BS OKRs class this week. And I keep trying to prepare a walkthrough of the example OKRs and just getting stuck. So I just thought I'd go live and do it live today with one take with the dog. Might be inappropriate in the background. Forgive her. All right. So first, we're going to look at a set of example OKRs that are a little bit more textbook. They are kind of, if we're going to look at a really, there's no other way to say it, kind of a textbook example, artificially perfect example of OKRs. Although, you know what, I'll bet we can still find some issue with them because OKRs, objectives and key results, these kind of goals can always be improved. They are a learning practice. Every one of them is an experiment. And so these are textbook, but with that caveat that our OKRs are always going to be learning, always potential for improvement. But let's pop in here and take a look at an example set that's a little bit, closer to perfect. So these are, I'll zoom in so you can see it. So this is an example. We love to put our OKRs on a single page. That's one of the best practices that we use here at Red Current Collective. It fights the issue that a lot of our strategic planning, kind of conventional strategic planning habits have of, if I can't see it, it doesn't exist. So many of our strategic deliverables might live on a SharePoint site somewhere, or in a Notion file somewhere, or buried in a PowerPoint presentation or a Google Slides document. So what we do is we try to fit our OKRs on a page so that then we can keep them right in front of our faces. I even have clients who have printed and laminated their OKRs. They're laminated because they're going to evolve over the course of the year. And so we want to be able to make those notes and changes on them as the year changes. But this is an example. So this is looking at a company level OKRs example. And we are typically working with clients who are setting annual goals at the company level. And then there would be a second page for their quarterly targets that roll out of those annual goals. When we're working with teams, we're typically working the opposite. So we're typically focused on quarterly or trimesterly goals that roll up to the company OKR annual goals. Sometimes teams have to kind of identify their annual goals and work back to the quarter, and that's fine. But you will notice when we look at these company OKRs, these ones are written annually. There would be a second page here that described what does that mean for the quarter, for the rest of the organization. But on this one page of our annual view, what you'll notice about these OKRs are, number one, they fit on a page. You can see in the red boxes, those are simplified word pairings or words that describe the theme of that objective. And themes are more important than most people realize because they help us protect and preserve clarity and alignment in our objectives and key results. So I'm a big advocate of having clear themes that actually get identified on the page with our OKRs. So those themes help us know what territory this objective relates to. That also gives other folks in the organization clarity about the themes that they might align to, even if they don't exactly align to these objectives and key results. So the objective statements, those are the single lines that are right under our themes in the red boxes. So for example, high satisfaction talent creates inspired products that help our users create brighter futures, or improve the efficiency of product development to enable greater innovation. Those are our objective statements. Notice here our objectives are directional. They're usually not measurable, and they have that connection to the theme. And again, that helps us with alignment. So our people and culture themed objective, high satisfaction talent creates inspired products that help our users create brighter futures. It describes what's important and why it matters around what we're really focused on for that theme for this year. Each of the objectives also has a certain number of key results associated with it. And this is a really focused team. So they only have, 2, 3, or 4 key results per objective. But you'll notice on this set of examples that our key results are measurable. And these are written in, I call it the textbook form. There's kind of a Mad Libs that I advocate for folks to learn of increase, decrease, or improve a metric by points or a percentage or a fixed number, and then from A to B that tells us our start value and our finish value. And so each of these you can see is written in that textbook form of increase employee retention by 30 points from 60 to 90%. Increase the number of employee-led initiatives by 50% from 5 to 7.5 per quarter. So that's what you see here is that kind of idealized view. Notice this depends a lot on, teams having baseline data. So this is an example of a mature set of OKRs for a team that already has baseline data. Although you can get really close to this even without baseline data by estimating your start value or estimating your target value. So then, if these were estimates, we could actually indicate with a parenthetical which of the numbers are estimates. But that's really helpful to do as opposed to leaving out an important KR because we don't have a baseline, or including a blank. Like a lot of teams include a variable like X. And then when we do that, I've seen teams like carry that X from quarter to quarter to quarter over time. And that doesn't get us anywhere either. So if you don't have the data now, you can estimate while you verify the data. Or we've got lots of tricks for figuring out alternative ways to quantify our progress and success, even if we don't have a perfectly instrumented system yet. So if that's the situation you're in, keep tuning in. We'll continue to focus on that particular case. All right, so then we're going to look now at an example set of, oh gosh, the dog. Let's see, there we go. Gibson, you're not helping. Okay, so speaking of the real world, so we're going to now take a look at kind of a less idealized view. This is still a company level set of goals, but this is an earlier stage company. So this is a company, they might not have all their baselines yet. They're really focused on growth, and I'll show you what that looks like in a little bit less idealized of an example. So here we see same thing. We've still got our themes really clearly identified. We have our objectives aligned to our themes, and then we've got our key results down below. So same thing, we still fit our OKRs on a page. What you'll notice here is some of our key results are that textbook style that we talked about. Increase word of mouth, measured by, from A to B, or increase strong positive feedback by a certain number of points from 46 to 60%. So you see that textbook style here. But you'll also see some slightly more relaxed KR forms. Things like not more than 1 in 3 of our medium effort content pieces is a solo production. So 2/3 are interviews or collaborations. 100% of medium effort content pieces are repurposed at least once. If you're a careful student of OKRs, that's going to sound a lot like an activity to you, but we've made it measurable by saying 100% of those medium effort content pieces are repurposed. That would be a stronger KR if we talked about what outcome we're trying to achieve with that repurposing, but we're just not always. Sometimes teams are going to have to kind of quantify. They're going to be focused on quantifying what is important for them to do when they might not have a lot of control over the outcome that that effort is designed to achieve. Ideally, we set an outcome goal about what they influence, but in the real world, sometimes teams that are, especially teams that are implementation focused, are going to really struggle to get past that quantified activity. So we always ask them the questions: is completing that activity what's important, or is completing that activity designed to create some sort of outcome? And then we write the KR about the outcome if possible. But I'll take a quantified activity KR, usually not at the company level or L2, but once we're, company level L2 and then a third level of localization, that's where we start to see more of those kind of quantified activity KRs coming in. We've got other examples in the good growth and financial health. Those are all pretty textbook. And then we've got another one of those, that it doesn't really fit the textbook in that second one on the community and connection KR. 0 content pieces go cold, fail to publish within 6 weeks of first draft. So that isn't in that textbook style, but that's what's important to that team. And so they've written a KR, and notice it is still measurable. So what you'll see here, even in the more kind of relaxed or achievable kind of approach to KRs that doesn't follow that textbook Mad Lib style, every single one of them is still measurable. We don't have anything here that we're calling a key result that isn't a measure. You can tell that because you can see in every single one, there's a number. And just because there's a number in it doesn't mean it's a key result, but numbers are a sign that we might have a key result written, where if there's no number, it's pretty rare that that's going to actually be a key result. So we want to watch out at the company level, even if we've got a little more relaxed implementation that doesn't follow that textbook view, we still want to provide a really excellent example at that company level and the first level of localization, so that we're only sharing key results that are actually key results, that are actually measures. All right, so just in time for us to wrap up. The dog is now asleep. Nope, there she goes. Okay, welcome to my real life. And I hope that helps give you a little bit of an example that you can work with. For some leaders, that's all they need. They just want to see an example of what good looks like. And it's really hard to provide example objectives and key results, because objectives and key results are the goals that you create for your organization. So they're all going to be different. So I prefer to share those structures, because then you can see what your distance from perfect is, or how close you can get to those textbooks.